People like Henry Schinnebeck connect many people within the industry to do wonderful things.
I'm a third-generation logger trucker, so I used to drive down the road. First I knew all the country western songs, then I knew all the rock and roll songs, and then I started listening to public radio. And one day somebody said, hey, you should be on this board of directors because you're going to take some action. And loggers take action, they implement things. Now I have the opportunity to work with just such a variety of people. I mean, we're working at the congressional level, the state level, so we're working with these legislators that work with foresters from all over the country. This is what we really call a team sport. And it's not just one person that makes a difference, it's a whole team that makes a difference. So there's so many opportunities here. You could be a logger, you could be an equipment operator, you could be a mechanic, you could work outside, you could work indoors, you could do science, you could do actual on-the-ground action.
One of those jobs is forest product specialist, and there are a lot of things we can learn from them.
Wisconsin is home to over 17 million acres, which includes about 1,200 companies using that resource. That employs about 60,000 employees. Wisconsin's forests include a diverse group of species of trees. The hardwood species are primarily used in aesthetic or appearance grade applications, while softwood species are for the strength and durability properties. Oak is one of the primary species that we grow here. Oak allows us to have many different products being made out of it, including millwork, cabinets, doors, flooring, pallets.
So oak is predominantly a preferred species in the packaging business for many, many customers. The oak tree starts in the forest growing. When it gets too large, it needs to be cut down because you need new growth. We cut down trees in the forest, bring the logs into the sawmill. You pull the high-grade lumber off, and that goes into the furniture and flooring type industries, and the low-grade lumber then goes into the packaging, the pallet type world, which is what we would use here. Most things in the world are moved by wood packaging, so the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat, most things are shipped on pallets from the manufacturer through the distributor to the end store. So even though we don't see the pallets, they're in our life every day.
But even when an oak pallet is retired, it still has use, or should I say reuse.
And then the pallets and the wood components that don't have a life in that form, we dismantle it. So we take it back into a lumber form. We cut it apart, cut the lumber back, and then remanufacture that into another pallet, skid, box, or crate. So then in that process, you generate some wood waste, some scrap ends, some boards that were damaged. Those will go into our shredder, which we turn that back into a wood fiber. From our byproducts, we produce firewood, animal bedding, landscape mulch, boiler fuel, and various other wood products that go back into reuse.
From the sawmill, oak is sent to companies and craftsmen to create products you see all around your home.
Part of my job is to make sure that we have products here to provide to different customers. I want to make sure I have my hands on the pulse of what's going on in this area and the different trends that are going on so that we can make sure to have, oak or maple, available to these customers when they want to come and do their projects. I think a lot of times the people like oak because of the grain pattern, the color. You can stain it light color and bring out the red hues of it, or you can stain it a dark chocolate or walnut color, yet still see that wood grain that everyone likes to see in wood. Some of the things that we manufacture here are baseboard, casing, crown molding, different base caps, panel caps. We make shiplap, along with our cabinet styles, S4S boards. S4S is surface four sides. How we do that process here is we take any boards after we run it through a rip saw. We run it through our molder. We use carbide top and bottom knives as well as side knives so that it puts out a better quality product. We then take that board once it's run through and we sand it 100 grit on the top and bottom to kind of get a nice finish ready for, say, a stainer or a retail customer that might take it and do the finishing on that board.
And artists love oak too.
There's just so many layers of pride in what we do, and I think it seeps all the way down to if you asked anybody who works with us, we all feel very lucky that we love the wood that comes in, and the variety is so incredible. When we talk about barns in Wisconsin, we always are talking about oak. And so we love oak because of its durability, its strength. We can also do a reclaimed table that has a lot of character, but we can make it writable and perfectly smooth. So recently, we started thinking about live edge slab, sort of. It's a little different than your barn wood, which is planks of wood that we glue up. We were thinking, and we had seen some beautiful tables that are just a slice of a tree. So we contacted the City of Appleton and said, hey, what you got? The City of Appleton might have also inspired us a bit because they try to repurpose your wood. So some connection between the City of Appleton and us. We decided, let's go and harvest the trees that they had taken down, slab them up, and then they turn into beautiful tabletops, coffee tables, dining tables. We might do a 20-foot long conference table out of a really big tree from the City of Appleton. And signs.
Appleton has historically been defined by wood. It's so great to see how forward-thinking this city and its kids are.
We are going through this transformation in town, with our efforts being pointed towards sustainability and creativity. And we started looking at things we had around us that were still beautiful, but just not being used the same way as they were before. And the idea to use these beautiful felled trees into signs that showed both our efforts and interest in sustainability and our creative ways that we can use things that were once thought to be garbage can still be beautiful. So the city signs will be placed all around 12 different spots in the city of Appleton. And we wrote a song to go with each sign, so you sort of follow the song as you follow the signs. All the idea is to use existing things like creative ideas in our heads, and the actual trees in the town all came from the kids. Kids have a better understanding than the big kids, the adults, about sustainability and about how things are not broken, that they are just new ways for them to be incorporated creatively.
Let's go deeper into the outdoors.
It all starts with an acorn. Citizens gather them in the fall and sell them to Wisconsin's reforestation program. They are planted in nursery beds and sold to forest landowners as 1 to 2 year old seedlings. Following a planting and forest management plan developed with a forester, landowners like my great-great-grandparents plant them by hand or machine. While the oak tree grow and mature for 80 to 120 years, they provide food and habitat for wildlife. Acorns from the trees feed deer and black bear. The trees are nests for squirrels, raccoons, possum, robins, and woodpeckers. Hollow oak trunks are often fox dens. Once oaks mature, a forester works with the next generation of landowner to plan a shelterwood harvest, promoting natural regeneration of new oak seedlings. Then the forester marks a timber sale and puts it up for bid. The landowner, my granddad, uses the income to reinvest in forest management and pay for my college tuition. Meanwhile, back in the forest, a logger does the timber harvest, sorting and bucking the logs to lengths like 8 to 16 feet. A trucker hauls this to a sawmill where the logs are sawn into lumber and cants. Higher-grade lumber is kiln-dried and sent to manufacturers who make furniture, cabinets, flooring, and millwork. Lower-grade lumber and cants are sent off to be processed into industrial products like crating, railroad ties, crane mats, and pallets. Pallets are cool. In the U.S., they are the largest use of hardwood. There are more than 1.8 billion pallets in use each year, and they are reused many times in their lifetime and even come back in many recycled forms.
Now I don't have to worry. It all makes sense, and I've learned a lot.
And so did I. Now I can enjoy going into the outdoors in another way.